Welcome to Nomads No Worries. Today we are revisiting a segment we call On the Road Again, where we talk about some of the wildest, most interesting, and emerging forms of transportation that we've taken in our nomadic journeys. And speaking of on the road again, Jack, I heard you're about to be on the road again and you purchased a one-way ticket out of the country. Is this true?
That's right, Steve. There's nothing like a feeling of purchasing a one-way. The possibilities, literally, it could be endless. We have no idea what's about to happen. I'm actually supposed to move into an apartment during a week after I leave for this one-way ticket trip. That's how crazy it is.
What? Okay, so
Yeah.
do you have to move out of your current place? Like, are you at least going to take that step?
Yeah, so I'm gonna move all my stuff into this new place the day I fly out.
That's
It sounds
bold.
like a waste of money. But I don't know what to do at this point, you know?
Hey, dude, no regrets. The one-way ticket is always a good move, so I support that wholeheartedly.
Thank you.
And what is the destination on that one-way ticket?
Milan, actually. Got a pretty good deal on it. There's one pit stop in Zurich for an hour. What could go wrong, you know? It's going to be a little colder than I'm used to, but I heard they got some good jackets in Italy.
They do, and that's what you do, Jack. You just buy jackets when you need them,
That's right.
shed them when you don't. Well, that's
Right.
awesome, man. Milan's
Thanks.
sick, Italy's dope. I wish you the best, and yeah, I hope you have a great time.
Yeah, I'm going to really concentrate on just basically eating food, leisure. I'm trying to find a good Halloween party. Okay,
Okay.
Halloween party in Italy. I think Halloween's one of my most favorite holidays, and it
What
never
costume?
disappoints.
What costume are you thinking this year?
I don't know, honestly. I have zero clue. Do you have any suggestions for me?
Let's see, you're going to Italy, so you could dress up as a tomato, maybe your favorite pasta.
A
Um,
rigatoni?
yeah, you could just wear a bow tie and say that you're bow tie pasta.
Is it Italian to have meatballs, or is that like an American spin on spaghetti?
They got some meatballs over there. Yeah, you could
Okay.
you could be a meatball.
Yeah, maybe like a meatball would be pretty cool, honestly. Could be a little gross though, smell after a while.
You're already a meathead because you've been working out so much.
Yeah, maybe I should just put meatballs in the places where my muscles should be.
There you go. It's like stuffing your bra. So yeah, I'll tell you. Yeah, I just had a little weekend trip by myself this weekend. You know, Alita had her girls' weekend in our apartment, so I was like, I'm just gonna get the heck out of here and go do my own thing. I don't want to be the one. Yeah, I don't want to be the one dude. I wasn't banished. It was my choice. I was just like, I don't want to be the
Okay.
one dude on your girls' weekend. That's weird. So I took a solo road trip throughout Quebec, and it was awesome. I drove to multiple national parks. I went to this big lake. Yeah, went on rented a bike, biked around this lake, went on some hikes. It was a great time, man. Watched some football, went to some bars. It was really fun.
So what's kind of the national park vibe in around Quebec?
Well, they got fjords there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So if you know about fjords, it's like a fucking canyon filled with water or something. It's usually the ocean, like the ocean cuts into the land and creates like this canyon that's full of the ocean. So there's like whales and shit in there. There's really good for whale watching. I didn't do a whale watching tour, but yeah, there's like whales all up in there.
That
The only
sounds
time
cool.
yeah, I had seen fjords before in Norway. I gotta say the
Oh,
Norway ones were probably like bigger and cooler, but these ones were dope. The fall vibes are very strong right now in Quebec. So I saw like the leaves, changing colors. Like it was really beautiful.
nice. That sounds like a great time to kind of hang out. And then, did you watch any sports games that you're particularly happy with over the weekend?
Yeah, K State and the Chiefs both won pretty
Yeah.
pretty handedly. So that was fun. I went to this one bar and my bartender like up in Quebec was like, I was like, hey man, can I get this game on? And he was like, yeah, I love football. I play football myself. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I play for like I'm in college and like my college has a team and I play wide receiver. I was like, yeah, you look like a wide receiver. He was super like tall and lanky.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the manager comes over. He's like, "Oh, football, dude! Me and my dad, we love football. We're big NFL fans. Like we went down to Dallas and saw a Cowboys game. Like we're trying to go to more NFL stadiums." I was like, "Yeah, bro." So I was just hanging out in like Northern Québec, watching football with these guys who worked at this bar, and it was unexpected, but it was fun.
Do they like Canadian football, or do they only watch American football?
The funny, like the thing to do in Canada is to talk shit on Canadian football because they know it kind of sucks. It's just like lower level, you know. They're like, "Oh, Canadian football sucks." Haha, the CFL. It's kind of like a punchline to them.
Okay.
Um, but then some of them like the NFL. There's a lot of Bills fans up here. I think just
Oh,
proximity, like they're the Bills are the closest team geographically to Canada, so you see some Bills fans, some NFL fans. I think Quebec, you know, they got the Euro culture here, so it's not as big of a thing as like maybe in Toronto or like the more Americanized type of cities.
well, maybe it's the French. It just
Yeah.
kind of gives them a little more separation.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, we're going to keep our French culture with the baguettes and soccer, not American football. Because I remember that's what I said to my bartender when he was like, I play football. I was like, soccer or football? He's like, no, like American football. Like, okay, cool.
That's cool. So when you guys are watching football together, do they like get your take as like a American? They're like, "Man, what do you think about this? Like, I know you've been watching this your whole life."
I was like, yeah, I'm an expert. I was like, yeah, see that what they just did there? That's called pass interference. And they're like, whoa, this guy's brilliant.
That's obviously going to be holding. That's
Okay.
cool. So do they
Yeah.
have Thanksgiving there as well? Because I feel like Thanksgiving and football, that would be like pretty awesome if they celebrated both those things.
Yeah. Canadian Thanksgiving just happened on Monday. It's
No
literally,
way.
yeah, everybody had work off. You know, not me because I work for an American company, but Thanksgiving in Canada was on Monday, October 13th this year.
Wow, that feels kind of early, but I mean, maybe it's because it gets colder up there, It's like the same type of temperature vibes as like us
Good
in
point.
November. And I'm
Good
totally making
point.
that up. Like,
No, that's true. I mean, by the time late November rolls around, it's going to be freezing up here. So people are not going to want to gather for that. You know, Christmas is
yeah,
one thing, but like not for Canadian Thanksgiving. No. Okay. So on the road again. Should we get into our segment?
yeah, let's do it.
All right. Today we're going to be talking about some different modes of transportation. First thing we're going to talk about is boats. Then we're going to get into some emerging car share rental services that are becoming more popular these days. And we're going to talk about the rise and fall of e-scooters such as Bird and Lime, which
All
is
right, Pete.
a hot topic. Um, let's talk about boats though, Jack. I mean, in our travels, we've been on so many different types of boats. So maybe start with one that you want to talk about and kind of your experience there.
All right, I'll talk about my scariest boat experience. Okay. We are staying in this remote town in Egypt. It's along the Nile. It's like 11 p.m. at night, and we booked this hotel, but didn't realize the hotel is like on an island in the middle of the Nile. And so at night, we had to like find some guy who didn't look official at all. And he's like, "Hey, come get on my boat and we'll go to this hotel." And it was like pitch black. And we have all of our stuff and we're just going through the Nile. Like, I'm so disoriented and like just landed an hour ago. And I was like, this is so sketch, but it like turned out to be completely fine.
That's scary. So what time is it when you're on this boat ride?
Like 11 p.m.
Okay. Yeah. And
Yeah.
you had
And
just
so
gotten
it's
to the country, so you're not really like you don't have your bearings yet. You're not familiar with the culture or anything.
Yeah, and it's just like there's how it is in like Egypt, everyone's kind of yelling at you to like get something from you or do something, but you got to like
Right.
allegedly like trust this guy, and it just it just doesn't look official at all, and there's no like real lighting. You're just kind of like floating off into the river, and you have no idea. The only thing I know about the Nile at that point is like I feel like there's gators. Like I don't even know if that's true or not, but that's what I was thinking about.
That sounds right. But no, I
Yeah.
mean, it's good when you put your trust in a random person in a foreign country and it turns out okay because immediately I got my guard up. Like if anyone
Yeah,
talks to me at any point, I'm like, okay, you want my money, you want something
right.
from me, right? Like you were alluding to. But it's nice when you are like, okay, I'm going to trust this stranger, and then they actually come through, and it's all good. It's like, okay, the world's not such a bad place.
Yeah, and it turned out to be such a cool hotel. It was like sort of like a really big house where we rented out a few rooms and they had like communal like dinner up top and like a patio and like you could like see the river and like the surrounding desert, and it turned out to be like such a cool experience. But sometimes, to get to those spots, you got to have a little faith.
Dope. Good. Well, I'm glad it worked out. What else can I say? So ferries have become a big one for me. Like I just feel like I'm ripping ferries all the time. Like if you want to visit an island, right? Like in Italy, I took a ferry to Capri, which was super rocky, and I almost threw up, whatever, but it
Wow.
was cool. It's one of those days on the water where things are choppy. Um,
Oh, so it was you kind of got a little seasick, maybe.
a
Is
little
that correct?
seasick. Yeah, a little
Yeah.
seasick, but I was fine. I'm not a bitch. Like I don't throw up.
I mean, some people it just happens, right? Have you ever gotten it before, or was it like just like crazy,
It
crazy
was just
waves?
really crazy waves. Like it was like people were rocking back and forth. Um, I just kind of closed my eyes and pretended like I was
On the
not at
Mamba?
sea. Yeah, pretended I was on a roller coaster with that little kid from last week. Um, but
Yeah,
you've
no, he
had some
didn't make it
ferry
safe.
experiences too, right, Jack?
Yeah, I also enjoy doing the ferries. I think my favorite ferry experience is probably in Greece. I've had some definitely seasick worthy moments. I can remember one in the Dominican Republic where it was like we were going out to a dive site and we took a boat, and it was like just so unenjoyable. I was like, I don't even want to dive anymore. All I'm thinking about is we have to go through that chop on the way back. Like, you know what I mean? It's like it's totally like I'm just like sitting there, I'm like dreading, like, man, I now we got to go back and do that all over again. At least it's like if you're taking a ferry somewhere one way, you're like, okay, we made it.
That's true. Yeah, then you're just kind of dreading the ride back. I will say, in Dominican and other Latin American countries, Puerto Rico, one of my favorite things to do, and I think we've done this together, is like the booze cruise,
Yeah.
and which is usually on a smaller boat. It's like a catamaran or something like that. But what's cool is it's usually unlimited alcohol. It's like all inclusive type of experience,
Yeah.
which is always a lot of fun. I highly
Yeah.
recommend if you're visiting the Caribbean to do one of those experiences.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Yeah, I remember another memorable experience I had was it was like a booze cruise, but it was also whale watching included. And
Nice.
they had a DJ, right? And so first he's playing the classics, like Pitbull and Neo and shit like that. And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden we kind of get close to the whales, and he literally starts playing like whale sounds like over the PA rather than music. It's like we're communicating from the boat. I don't know if it actually worked or not. I don't know anything about whales, but he's just playing whale sounds. So it goes from like Danza Kuduro to like just like these eerie like Halloween esque sounds. And I mean we saw whales, so I guess it worked. I don't know if it worked or not, but they were there.
I think that really sets the tone. If you're questioning if this boat is legit, if this whale watching excursion is legit, once they
Yeah.
start playing whale singing noises over the loudspeaker, you're like, okay, I feel good about this. These guys know what's up.
It's just risky, right? I mean, you're playing random sounds to us. Like, what if you're like, blaring cuss words or like you're saying obscene things? Like, you've heard about the whales that like have been tipping the boats over in the Strait of
Right.
Gibraltar. Like, you don't want that to happen on the whale. I know those orcas are deadly. Okay, those whales they can eat us. Like, we're basically plankton to them.
Yeah.
So
They're
you
called
got to be
killer
careful
whales
what
for a
you play.
reason. Yeah. I mean, if they don't like Bruno Mars and you're playing Bruno Mars, like they might fight back against that.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you don't want to mess with that because all you got is Bruno Mars. He's like 5'6".
Now, Jack, let's go even bigger. And we don't have to talk about this a whole lot, but I do want to touch on it, which is the cruise thing, because I know you've done that. I never have.
Okay.
And I think I've decided I don't ever want to. I think I was thinking I would do it one time But
Huh.
then I saw this weird Netflix documentary about like some sex trafficking that happened on a cruise, and now I'm like, all right, I'm out on cruises. Um, because
Wow. Yeah, that sucks.
they just described it as like this lawless city, like that's not governed by anyone, right? You're in like international waters on this boat, like anything can happen. It's not like there's a lot of police or like any,
Hmm.
you know, it's like there's thousands of people, like all of a sudden in this one floating city that with no jurisdiction. So it's like kind of sketch. But tell me about your experience. I know, you know, just for the people a little bit.
Are we talking like the cliche big cruise ship,
Yeah,
three
that's what I
stops in
meant. Yeah, big
Mexico?
cruise. Yeah, big cruise ship
Okay.
thing.
Yeah, I've done that one time and I actually had a great time because we stopped in this Mexican city called Ensenada, and it's like I think it's on like the Baja Peninsula. We left from Long Island, and it was like just a weekend. Go to Ensenada, Mexico. We did like a hike and saw like a blowhole and ate some tacos and came back and then partied the whole time. So it was okay. This was probably in like 2018, 2017 or something,
Shit.
so a long time ago. But yeah, I think it was fun because it was like so easy. I was in LA at the time. It was so easy to be able to kind of go on it, but I don't think I would ever do a thing where like, all right, I'm flying into a port city and I'm taking like a 5-day booze cruise. We're hitting New Orleans, we're hitting Montego Bay.
Yeah.
That's probably not my vibe, but I do think there are certain cruises which can be cool. But a side thing, Steve, have you seen the Netflix The Poop Cruise? This is my fear. Your fear is there's like a revolt and you can't defend yourself. My fear is the toilets stop working. Okay, because in this documentary, the toilets stop working, and like all of a sudden, every toilet gets filled. Okay, and they're
Okay.
all stuck on this boat and they can't leave. Okay, and so they start like handing out like the biohazard bags, and then like all the like trash cans are filled,
Oh
and then they start like peeing and pooping in like the showers. Like it's like a because they're all stuck there. I mean, you got to go. And then like
God.
the kitchen staff obviously responsible for like feeding everyone. Obviously, they're trying to keep everyone from pooping in the kitchen. Like, please don't poop in the kitchen. But you're running out of spots and like people are starting to freak out. So, kind of a sidebar thing. I'm actually more afraid of that situation than like, getting robbed or something.
Wow. Yeah, the poop cruise, dude.
Yeah,
Um,
dude. Look that up. Look that
I've
stuff
seen
up.
it on there. I've watched other documentaries by the same group. Like I think it's
Yeah.
called Trainwreck. I watched one about the Toronto mayor who was addicted to crack
Oh, that sounds like a
and
good one.
the Area 51 event that kind of happened. Anyway, I'll check
Yeah.
out Poop Cruise though for sure.
Yeah, it was wild, dude. I was like, wow, that's like it's like one of those things where you have your fears as a kid, like you're scared of spiders, like you're scared of drowning, getting caught on fire. Like now I'm afraid of being on a cruise without power. Like what an adult nightmare.
And I'm sure 99.9% of the time those cruises are really fun. You have a good experience like you did, but it is like that chance that something could go wrong because you're just out in the middle of the ocean like with a bunch of randos. I don't know, like something like that could go wrong, and that part kind of sketches me out. But
Yeah, now let me talk about the other cruises I've done that are like way cooler. So I feel
okay.
like the Nile cruise, if you've ever seen the movie Death on the Nile, I would highly recommend watching that movie. It's like based off the Agatha Christie, I think it's like a book. It's like done by the same people who did Murder on the Orient Express.
Hmm. Yep.
And that's literally what I did, minus like the murder and the sketchy parts that happen, but it's basically more of like a riverboat style cruise. You're still on there for 4 or 5 days and you kind of stop at different points on the Nile to basically go and check out the different temples and stuff. And it's like smaller, so there's probably only like 100 people on board. It's only a couple stories. There's not like water slides and fountains and free Dunkin' Donuts. You know what I'm saying? It's a little more like you got Egyptian food and everyone's there with their like crazy camera.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely interested in doing this.
So I think that one was like a pretty fun one, and it was functional. Like we actually did, like we didn't have to go back. Like we went to a new city that was further up north to like go to wherever we wanted to go next. So like did have a functional component. Obviously a lot slower than flying, but it was great. I think another one that was kind of fun was I took a cruise ship that's normally a cruise ship that was like basically empty to go from Helsinki to Tallinn, Estonia, and it was like a just like a transportation type of situation, but it was like a huge cruise ship, and they had food and everything, and it was like kind of that vibe for like a few floors, but like it was like a like a 6-hour journey. That was it. So it was like a
Okay.
temporary kind of vibe.
So did you have a bed and like a room?
You could rent that if you wanted to, right? So there's like different packages, or you could kind of just have the like living room, like common
Got it.
area package, right? And they stopped at different stops. So like they would stop in Tallinn, and then they would actually go to St. Petersburg. But they kind of kicked off all the Americans. We're not allowed, it's not, you got to kind of make sure you have a visa and everything to go there. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, I wasn't able to do that. But I thought it was cool. I mean, it was kind of like a floating taxi, like be almost like like a traveling party.
I love that. I love parties of all forms, whether they're stationary or traveling. So that
Yeah.
sounds awesome. Let's go smaller now. So what you just said makes me think of water taxis, which I've taken in a few different places. I
Okay.
know on our Bocas del Toro episode, I talked a lot about water taxis. That's like their main form of transportation there. Like it's on these small, it's like a archipelago of small islands off the coast of Panama, so they don't really have cars on the island. So people just take these little water taxis, and it costs like $1 for a ride, and they'll take you to a different island or a different part of the island. So that was really fun. And then Vancouver was another one that they have like a bunch of rivers and things throughout the city. So to get across, you can take a water taxi there as well, which was the ones in Vancouver are a lot nicer and more modern, I'd say, than the Panama ones. But still, I love a good water taxi. It's exciting. Normal taxi sounds boring, but then once you're on the water, it's like, wait, this is fun now. So have you done water taxis before, Jack? Do you know that vibe?
Yeah, did actually in the Galapagos quite a bit to kind of bounce between all the islands and the different spots. They did water taxis about $1 as well. It was pretty fun. I mean, there was one time I was a little tipsy after dinner in the Galapagos, and I was a little worried I was going to knock it on the water taxi super well. I mean, there's an element of danger that's added, which is exciting.
It is. I remember when Alita and I were taking them in Panama, we were like talking about how we want our parents to come down here, but then we were like, actually, I don't think they could do this water taxi thing. Like getting off the
Yeah.
dock and like jumping in, and like I don't know if like old people could handle that as well.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
you got to be minding your surroundings. You got to be agile. We got to see some bend in your knees.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want anyone to end up shark food or orca pudding.
Especially if there's Bruno Mars playing and you fall in. Who knows what's going to
Screwed.
happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's cool. Yeah, water taxi. Now, the one thing is, I mean, I don't know the water taxis for you, but for me, it's like, you got to get on and you pay $1, but you got to kind of wait till it fills up a little bit, right? And then you
fuels
go.
up?
No, like in terms of like adding, like mine were like communal water taxis. So it was like maybe water bus. Maybe it's a
Yeah.
better word for it, where you kind of had to get some people on before they would actually leave. You're not
Yes.
getting
I've
a
done
private,
yes.
yeah.
I've done those before. It was kind of like a bus, right? Like it would leave every 30 minutes or something. So like it would fill up and then they would go. But then you could also just wave some down and just hop on and get kind of like a private ride. So they had both, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe honestly, like if I'm feeling it, I'll give you $5. Let's leave right now.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
like
Yeah.
we don't need to pack it with any more gringos. We're ready to go.
What other boats are we missing?
Well, I think we both done the Istanbul ferry across. That's kind of a cool one because you're literally crossing a continent casually.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah,
sick.
that one is sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did like a tour one also in Istanbul that had like a dinner, and like they had guys
Okay.
dressed up and dancing and all this stuff. So it was like more of a tour, but yeah, super cool. And then yeah, going from the European side to the Asia side is definitely a vibe because it seems like you're going across the world, but really you're just going across a river.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that is cool. and it's beautiful on both sides. It's just
Oh
so
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
And it's great if you mess it up, you can actually just take a taxi, a real taxi, and get back over, So
Yeah,
you
exactly.
still kind of have like an andon cord to be safe. But yeah, I think the only other one is like the ones I took to kind of go between the Greek islands were pretty fun. I mean, they would range from like smaller, more speedboaty ones to like, I think we one time took one for like 9 hours and we had our own cabin and we got to sleep and it was super comfortable. So I felt like that was a great way to kind of bounce between, because I think Greece has something like 160 islands. So, you just kind of pop between them. They got a pretty good network, stuff always leaving. And so that was like a really fun way to kind of island hop. I highly recommend that.
That's dope. Okay, yeah, I love that. And then of course there's Yacht Week, which we still need to have a full episode on at some point.
Right.
Um, so yeah, that was a whole thing. But yeah, we'll save that till we can really dive in. But Yacht Week is great.
Was it productive? No.
But was it worth it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah. Well, Steve, I kind of want you to kind of talk about the e-scooter. I want to know what happened. I want to know who killed the e-scooter.
Okay. Well, let's get into it. So I first started thinking about this because I've been taking these flex vehicles recently here in Canada.
Is that an app? It's called Flex?
It's called Commune Auto, like Community Auto, and then they have two types of vehicles. They have flex vehicles, which are like scooters, like e-scooters essentially. Like it'll show you on the app where they're located, and then you can just walk up to one and unlock it and enter the car and you're on your way.
Cool. Okay.
The other type of vehicle they offer is like reservation, that's station based. So they're in different stations around the city and they have several vehicles in there. And then you can like reserve those for a certain time period and hop in those as well. But I love this service. I've been taking it. I took it in Vancouver when I was there. I take it here in Quebec. It's just like so convenient to literally have a car whenever you want. Like it's awesome. I know there's some services in the US. They have some platforms like Zipcar. I've never done that one. But now like Uber and Lyft are offering car rentals that you can literally, it's more like an aggregate. Like they have like Avis and Budget
Mm.
and different services, but you can just rent it through Lyft and through your Uber app, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. Wow.
Um, not as convenient, I'd say, as like the Zip car or Flex car thing that I've been doing. But yeah, I love that. And the Flex car, you can drive it literally anywhere in the US or Canada, it says.
So you can cross the border, or is that
Yeah,
what
yeah.
that
As long
means?
as you bring it back to where you got like the zone, right? Like if I got it in Quebec City, I got to bring it back to Quebec City at some point.
And what's the maximum time you can rent it for? Is it like infinite as long as you keep paying, or?
Yeah, I think as long as you keep paying, then you're good. But that
Wow,
would
so you
add
do a
up.
whole road trip. You go to Vegas from Quebec.
Totally. Yeah. I actually had to lie when applying for this. Like they said, you need to be a resident of Canada. And so they made me send in am I admitting to fraud right now on,
It's okay. I think
so
we're
they made
good.
me send it. They wanted me to send in an electric bill with my name on it. So I just looked up like common electric carriers in Quebec and just did a little PDF editing and just got my name on there, changed like the year, like the dates and everything, and just sent it in. And they were like, all right, you're approved. You're definitely a resident of Quebec. I was like, yes, I am. Give me that car. Yeah.
So really, you fooled the government.
Fuck them.
Okay, so it's been a great experience.
Yes, so that's been awesome. Definitely something I recommend for people who don't have cars like you and me, Jack. It gives you the option to have a car whenever you want. So
Yeah, I wonder what options are available to me in Miami.
yeah,
Um,
check out Zipcar, and then Enterprise. I think is starting one up now. It's not. I don't think it's in all U.S. markets, but I feel like usually in Miami, these things like whenever there's like something that's going to market, like Miami is one of the first ones. But Enterprise, it's just called Enterprise Car Share.
okay.
So you could try that. And then of course there's Turo, which is I've used that before. That's kind of nice. Sometimes it's cheaper than going through Enterprise or one of those. It's like the Airbnb of car share.
Yeah, I've used that a couple times actually, and I felt like it was a good experience. I've also used something similar in Denver with you just drop the car off. It's almost like a scooter or like a bike where you can leave it wherever. You just kind of take it momentarily.
Okay, yeah, so that's kind of like what they have here. Okay, I didn't realize Denver had that. Okay, that's cool.
Well, no, it was in there for like when we were there for like a year, and then it got discontinued or something. Remember, it was like those like really nice Mercedes cars for some reason. It didn't feel like sustainable business.
Yeah, seems like it's not.
Yeah, so
But yeah, so it got me thinking about scooters. All right, let's talk
okay.
about them. Way back in the day, I mean, dude, it's been like almost 10 years now since these things first came about. I don't know, but like
You're right.
this is
Has it been that long? Yeah.
maybe like 2017 or something, but all of a sudden these scooters appeared when we were living in Denver, and it was great, super convenient. You hop on, it's electric. You can just go wherever the hell you want around the city, and it was super cheap when it started. They definitely have been increasing the price recently, but that intro price was nice.
Free drugs. Yeah.
So we're talking Lime, we're talking Bird, Lyft got in there. Like they had some pink Lyft scooters. But I just noticed recently around the world, I'm going to all these different cities. Like I just don't see them as much. Like I feel like I used to see scooters just littered across every city, right? Like,
Yeah.
and now I just don't see them as much. And I'm wondering what's going on. I don't know. What's your take on that, Jack? Do you still see scooters around? Do you still ride them ever?
I know I definitely I don't see that. I mean, I remember the days would be like on one street corner would be like 3 or 4 different companies with their scooters all on there.
Yeah.
Like everyone's kind of competing for real estate there. So I definitely remember that. I really here what I think what's interesting is I don't know, I'm making this up, but a lot of people seem to have personal scooters. And I wonder if that's because maybe if you're really going to use it, it's actually pretty cheap to just actually buy one than to just use this service. And also you probably obviously by nature take care of it more. You're like more responsible with it because it's yours. So maybe that's because of regulations as well. But it seems like that is the prevailing model, or at least the only way I see them now is the private.
Dude, okay, that's a good point. I'm thinking back, like all my years in Denver, if I would have just owned my own scooter, I probably would have saved so much money on riding those stupid things.
Like I wonder how much a scooter is, right? Yeah, they're like 500 bucks, $300. What, $200?
Oh my, that's nothing. Wait, I should have just done that. I've probably spent thousands. I would like commute to work in Denver on a scooter, like a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, and like I remember seeing you. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's like but now the one thing with the you go as you want, like you can ride a scooter somewhere and then you're not responsible for it anymore.
that is nice.
That's nice. Like
That's
that's like
true.
pretty awesome. Like now with this you're responsible. I don't exactly know how like can someone just pick your scooter up and walk away with it? Like is there like an alarm? Like do you lock it up like a bike? I'm not exactly sure. You
I
must
think you'd
lock it
lock,
up.
yeah, you'd lock it up like a bike for show.
Okay, yeah. But we're talking $200, infinite rides.
Yeah, I should have just done that.
But maybe that's how it is now, right? Like back then, maybe like they just didn't have the like no one was making scooters.
Right. That's true, but
Yeah.
that's good to know. Good to know now. So here's some things that have been happening in this industry, Jack.
Okay.
Bird, who was like one of the most popular brands,
Hmm.
actually filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in late 2023, which we've
Wow.
talked about on this pod before. Like, what does that even mean? Like, a lot of companies file for bankruptcy and then they're still like just go, like Hooters is still like just going.
Yeah.
Red Lobster.
Yeah.
So they went bankrupt. Another brand, which was called Link, they shut down all US scooter operations also in late 2023. So they recalled their entire fleet. And then some cities have like completely been withdrawing their scooter share. So like they tried it in Overland Park, Kansas, for instance. They recalled all of those. Mexico City, Jack, like remember when we first went there, we just ripped scooters around the whole time. Now
Yeah.
there's not a single scooter in Mexico City anymore. I'm guessing it was just way too dangerous of a city. Like with all
Yeah.
the pedestrians and all the traffic and shit in that city, like there's no way people should be riding scooters around with no helmets. I'm sure they had some like deaths and bad things happen, so they recalled those.
I mean, I feel like that is the second most prevalent memory of the scooters is like watching my friends wipe out at like 3 a.m. drunk.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
it's like,
good.
yeah, those were really dangerous. Like, you're going really fast, you hit a pop hole. I don't know how many times people come back. You know, they just got like scraped up elbows and
Yep,
knees and stuff. Like, it's just so common, right?
I've seen it way too many times.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've seen over the years, it used to just be a free for all. It was like the Wild West with these things. You could park them wherever. So then cities started implementing rules about where the scooters can be parked, where they can actually be ridden. So you're not supposed to ride them on sidewalks, right? So only in streets. Um, Denver has now passed a law that is going to hold the scooter companies responsible if there's any poorly parked e-scooters or e-bikes. So they used to have a law that they could technically write you a ticket if you were a citizen and they caught you parking your scooter illegally or something.
Really?
But I think in like 5 years they only wrote 6 tickets for that. So now they're just going to fine the company every time that it happens. They're just going to be like, okay, Lime, we're putting this on your tab because we found a scooter in a creek.
So they feel more responsible.
Yep. So I don't know what they're going to do. So now, like, there's some technology being tested that will actually, like, the scooter will stop operating if it's on a sidewalk when you're riding it. So it makes people actually ride in the street or bike lanes.
Mm.
So they're trying to cut back on some of the chaos and reckless use.
So why do you think that because I feel like at least in Miami Beach, like the city bike stuff is so prevalent and it's like a similar model, you know, but maybe because there's like stations you have to park it at, and if you don't park it, you get charged like $800 or
Yeah.
something. Like your credit card's on hook already, so they know you.
Yeah. I mean, the scooters need to just do that. They don't have the stations. They've been implementing the parking spaces though for them, or like parking areas.
A nest.
Yeah, the nest. Yeah. We'll see if like they get more serious about fining people and things with that. They probably will if the companies are going to get charged directly for it.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, I am overall, I really do enjoy all these like different, like community oriented or like sort of like on the go different modes of transportation. I think it's great. Obviously, it's not without its, you know, problems, but I think it's a cool field.
yeah, and there's economics with this, right? Like these companies, we're talking about sustainable businesses, right? Like the cost to maintain and repair these scooters is super high. Not to mention you got to charge them because they're electric. Vandalism, theft, like wear and tear, because these things are just around every city with like homeless people like pissing on them. So there's just a lot that can go wrong and make this an expensive business. So a lot of these guys are going out of business. Okay, it was initially a novelty, right, that attracted casual users. Like, remember in Denver when they first hit the scene, everybody wanted to try it. But then over time, only core users remained. Like me, I was a core user, but
Right.
just not as many people are riding the scooters anymore. Just the ecosystem matures. Some people might prefer e-bikes instead. So that's kind of the micro mobility ecosystem, they call it.
Oh, micro mobility. Wow, I love that.
One thing that also matters is local conditions. So one thing that they've noticed that certain cities that are super bike friendly, that's where they're still pretty prevalent. Like if they have good bike lanes and infrastructure for that, like it also supports scooters more. So more people ride scooters in those types of city. Like Seattle, for instance, is growing still. Like they have a lot of scooter use. Like they've been still adding scooters, whereas a lot of cities are removing a lot of them. So Seattle's still going strong.
That makes a lot of sense to me. I can see that. I mean, they're basically same type of transport, I guess, same kind of speed.
Okay, in Santiago, Chile, a study found that e-scooters reduced public transit trips in central areas.
Did you feel like that was a bike friendly city or not really?
Yeah, I'd say for Latin America it was for sure.
Oh, really? Okay.
Okay, European cities saw an 8.2% increase in monthly traffic accidents, especially where bike infrastructure is weak.
See, that's the thing that scares me. There's a lot of bad drivers here, and I always get nervous because it's like I feel like if even if I'm doing my best and they're having to help, they're coming back from space, I'm screwed.
Yeah, exactly. You could do everything right, but there could be someone on ecstasy that hasn't slept all night that's just going to wreck you.
Yeah, so that's always a threat, right?
Another big thing that hurt the scooter industry was COVID. Like people just were
Mm.
not riding scooters during COVID, so a lot of them did not really recover from that. So that was a big one. But yeah, high operating cost, low margins, a lot of public backlash. I remember Tahoe; they hated the scooters. They're like, "You're ruining our beautiful town." They
Oh
would like
yeah.
knock our scooters over when we had them parked. Um,
That's a Karen move. It's funny.
Yeah, yeah, there's always going to be haters out there. But yeah, it sounds like some cities are still embracing it.
Yeah, well, those cities are probably pretty fun because I like bike-friendly cities.
It went from 240 in 2023 to 194 in 2004.
Wait, in 2024?
Or what? Oh, yeah, 2024. Yeah, sorry, 2020. It went from 240 in 2023 to 194 in 2024. So that's the amount of cities and that's just in the US.
Okay,
So a lot of cities canceled or did not renew their scooter programs.
man. Okay. I do feel like the e-bikes has gotten even more popular. And maybe it's just it's like a trend thing. People want to be on the bike now. They don't want to be on the scooter.
E-bikes are dope. I'm actually super down to just do those forever. I don't even need scooters anymore. E-bikes are awesome.
Because I think they're more comfortable for a longer distance. And I just feel safer on a bike for some reason.
100%. I did that over the weekend up in whatever national parks I was at. I rented an e-bike like the whole day and it was just lovely.
Have you ever eaten poutine on the e-bike at the same time?
And that would be tough, but I think when I do, I'll be a peak Quebecer.
Yeah.
Wow. Seattle in 2024 said that their bike and scooter share system hit a record of 6.3 million rides in 2024, which is a 28% increase from the year before.
All right. Well, I mean, so it really just depends. I wonder why there aren't any in Miami Beach. Maybe they banned it.
They did, yeah. A lot of cities have been banning it and pulling back for different reasons. I'm sure Miami's just one of those. They probably had some accidents or whatever. So it could be the city's choice or it could be the company's choice if it's not a profitable market.
That's interesting. Well, Steve, when was the last time you were on an e-scooter?
It's been a while, man. I mean, I'm sure I was like this year at some point in my travels. I just got to think about it.
But not in Santiago.
No. Where have I even been? I just don't even remember where I've been this year. Like, that's the problem.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah. That's why we do these pods. Now, Steve, will you look up, do they have e-scooters in Milan? What's the situation there? I feel like cobblestone streets and e-scooters don't go well, right?
They really don't.
Like, that sounds highly dangerous.
Yeah. It's just not fun to ride because it's so bumpy and shaky.
Oh, a guide to scooter sharing in Milan. Wow, these scooters seem to have larger wheels.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
Yeah, Steve, I can't wait to tell you about Milan on the pod.
Oh, I'm so excited to hear about it, man. I'm just glad you're back on the road and getting back on the horse.
I just need to feel something, you know? Maybe I'll fly to Tunisia right after, just to kind of get back in my element.
Yeah, dude.
I love the bad countries. You know what I'm saying? I've always been a rebellious child.
Dude, you're a bad boy.
Yeah, I'm a bad boy. Put me in boots on the ground, you know?
Yeah, dude. Like, get you in a place that has some like bad human rights type of issues, less freedom.
Yeah, where I'm like immune to because I'm a male.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It doesn't even affect you at all, but
Yeah.
yeah.
It's terrible. You know, another thing that's popular in Miami Beach that I just can't get behind, but I think it looks really cool when everyone else does it. I just know I don't want to do it, and that's the Vespa. The Vespa is so popular here. Everyone's got the Vespa. I don't know if you can take the Vespa on the highway, but you're definitely like considered like a car on the streets.
For
And just
sure.
with the background, the European vibe of it, like the Vespas are They're awesome.
It's a vibe, dude. I think I'm gonna buy one when I go down there for 3 months to Southern Florida,
Wow.
South Florida, and
Yeah.
just sell it when I leave. I think we're doing it.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I mean, it's definitely a vibe. It's not something I don't like being that exposed and going that fast. But I can see why it would be fun for a lot of people, and you look really cool doing it, I think.
Yeah, you'd have to step up your fashion game, just like have a classic look, just look like a cool like Italian business mogul.
Yeah, get addicted to cigs.
Or like an artist, like a European artist who paints beautiful pictures of trees and the sun. They would ride a Vespa.
Yeah, they would love they'd be having someone having a cappuccino on the back of their Vespa.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the vibe.
Yeah. Yeah, that is 100% the vibe. No, but now the other I would like to make fun of one mode of transportation though, if that's cool.
Yeah.
So another interesting component of Miami Beach is you see the same rented supercars all the time, just driven by different people. Okay, so they fly into Miami and they rent the Ferrari and then they basically drive it around these few blocks and they like park it by a lot of people and like stand outside of it with their arms crossed, And it's fine if that's what you want to do, but it's like you're clearly there to party and now you just put yourself in a situation where you're going to get a DUI. Like I wonder how often these same police officers have got the same Ferrari, different driver. Because you're just hanging around the clubs at 3 a.m. with your rented Ferrari.
Yeah, and it's like you're not in a very low key vehicle. It's like this super flashy.
Yeah, the whole point is you want everyone to notice and see you.
And it's just douchey. Everyone knows that you just rented that car for the day to take pictures with.
Especially when you live here and you I basically know a good chunk of them instantly,
Yeah. Yeah. See, that's lame.
It's just lame. It's just like, dude, just go have some fun, go on the beach,
What about the slingshots and those type of cars?
Oh, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't like the slingshot. What is the vibe there? Is it like fast? Is it like more wind than a convertible? Like what's our angle?
Yeah, I think they're supposed to be fast. But again, you just look like a douche and attract attention.
Yeah, they look so weird. If you get into any wreck, even a Honda Accord is going to run over you.
Yeah.
That's the problem. You look weird and you're losing every freaking accident for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So those are douchey.
Yeah, those are. I don't even know how anyone that ever caught on ever.
I think, in Miami, I could see it being a thing. It makes sense there. Or like LA, people want to be flashy. Kind of makes sense. Let me live like the other half for a day with this fancy car. And then I'm going to go back to Ohio.
Yeah, I'm going to be flashy. I'm going to be kind of edgy. I'm getting the slingshot. Everyone's going to get the Ferrari, but I'm going to be the one guy. No one's ever rented the slingshot before. No one's ever going to see this one coming.
Yeah.
I want to know the percentage of slingshots that are like owned by like rental companies versus like this is like what someone drives to work.
That's a good. It's gotta be like 85% is owned by the rental companies. There's no way normal guys are just having a slingshot in their garage.
Yeah, like you're driving to your sales job and you're like, man, I had to scrape the windshield of my slingshot today. It was really cold out. Like no one ever says that.
Yeah, sorry, my slingshot got a flat tire. I'm gonna be late for work.
Yeah, someone slashed my tires, but good thing I only have 3 of them. Joke's on them, it's a little cheaper to replace. Like, I've never heard that.
No, definitely not.
But anyway, I mean, you know what? People can ride whatever they want, but we can also say whatever we want, so.
We can,
Yeah.
We'll say it on the pod. I probably wouldn't say it to their face. I'm like a Karen in that way, right? Instead of like, a Karen will go online and write the reviews. That's kind of like what I'm doing. Instead of talking shit to the guy in the slingshot's face, we just talk about it on the pod.
Yeah, and we're getting it out. It's a safe place. It's fine. It's all in good fun. If you want that, that's great.
Yeah. That's all good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was a good pod, dude.
That was awesome.
Everyone, have a great day. Tune in next week. I think we're going to have an interview next week, so get ready for that. And got some more cool stuff coming, so stay tuned.
I learned a lot. I personally learned a lot from this episode, so thank you, Steve.
Good, man. It's really nice to see you grow as a person, Jack.
Thanks, man. I'm going to gift you a slingshot one day.
Thanks, man. I'm gonna get you a scooter for $200.
Wow, that's honestly that I would get the better end of the stick in that one.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.
Bye.